A sword through David's heart. Within a short time the suspicions of David's men were justified. Once more overcome by his insane jealousy, King Saul had ordered his forces to resume the hunt. "Bring David to me, that I may kill him myself," he roared. "Never shall he sit upon my throne." But although various people sought to betray David into the king's hands, their efforts were in vain. Over mountains, through forests, into deserts, the former shepherd boy led his pursuers with a cunning that amazed everyone. "He is swifter than the eagle in flight," King Saul's men told one another wearily. "It is impossible to capture him." "And why is David so wonderfully protected? Because he trusts in the Lord and praises him constantly," observed the country folk shrewdly. "Ah, that he were our king instead of Saul!" However, there were many times when David's spirits sank to a low ebb, and he found it difficult to trust in God. How hard to be continually persecuted, to have to live like a wild beast in the wilderness. Then came the day when he could bear it no longer. He had just had a second chance to kill King Saul, having come upon him asleep in the midst of his sleeping followers. But once again he had been forbearing. He had merely carried away the king's cup and spear in order to give evidence of his visit. Yet somehow he could find little consolation in this act of mercy. "If I spared his life 1,000 times, the king would still hate me," he thought bitterly. "Oh, what's the use of trying to treat honorably with him, a madman, any longer?" Gradually a plan formed in David's mind to secure peace. He and his men would go to the land of the Philistines and offer their services to King Achish. But they would not make the journey fearfully or in secret, as he himself had once done. No, they would go openly and boldly treat with the king as man to man. "King Achish already knows that Saul is mad," he told himself. "He'll understand that we come to him only to save our lives, also that we have something to offer his people, for each of us is skilled in warfare. After all, we've been able to hold off King Saul's best warriors for several years." Achish did receive David warmly, even to the point of giving him the city of Ziklag for his headquarters. And as the days passed, David proved his worth as a warrior many times. Over and over again he went out against the wicked tribes of the surrounding countryside, capturing their leaders, burning their cities, and otherwise covering himself with glory. Yet in the midst of all these victories, a little voice deep within his heart kept insisting that he should never have hired himself out to the Philistines. "But why not?" cried David. "Achish is a good man, far better than King Saul. See how well he's treated us since we came to live in his country." "Even so, he's a pagan and worships idols," said the little voice. "It wasn't right to offer him your services." "If we'd stayed at home, we might have been dead by now. After all, King Saul and his men, isn't the Lord greater than King Saul? He would have protected you if you'd just left things in his hands." Reluctantly, David acknowledged that he had acted wrongly in hiring himself out to the Philistines. But he made no move to change matters. Indeed, on the day when Achish informed him that he and his men were ready to march against Israel, he readily accepted a place in the ranks. However, shortly before the battle, the Philistine generals discovered his presence and insisted that he be sent home. "Who can say what this man will do?" they grumbled. "Isn't he an Israelite? Perhaps in the midst of the battle he'll turn against us and go over to King Saul. Then where shall we be?" Regretfully, Achish told David the news. He must return to Ziklag. "But don't worry, I'll send word of how the battle goes," he promised. "Ah, my friend, if only the generals knew you as I do, they'd not be so suspicious."